Hello everyone and welcome to my review of CF4 Stakes Day. This is going to be something I'm trying new for the Autumn Carnival. Looking at some sectionals, maybe some horses to follow from yesterday's meeting. Maybe looking at a few stewards reports as well to try and paint the full picture on what was a brilliant CF4 Stakes Day. Another Will takes out the feature, defeating Mr. Brightside. Harry Coffey rides 4 on the card. Duke de Sessa, the Caulfield Cup winner, returns to win yesterday as well. It was a monumental day at the Heath, and we'll get on with, well, an overview of all the races. So here's a small little overview of all the races. As you can see, I've got the race, the winner, the distance, time, and the ranking up there. So the ranking is compared to standard time for the for all classes over the distance, how well they've gone. So unsurprisingly, the Group 1 is the highest ranked. Arabian Summer in the last race ranked second, Duke de Sessa third. As the track hardened up later in the day, those times really started to get faster. Emphasize did very well for a benchmark 78 to run that fast. Let's take a look at the CF4 Stakes first. But before that, I wanted to make a mention that we saw a clear pattern yesterday with the southerly breeze at Caulfield of about 25 kilometers per hour. Down the chute, with the chute races, you had to be forward to midfield if you want to be a clear winning chance. That's what happens usually. That's the southerly breeze means they've got a tailwind down the side of the track, so it really helps those front runners. They don't have to push into the wind. So that's a clear pattern that we've got to keep in mind for future references at Caulfield. If there's a southerly breeze, forward to midfield down the chute. So for most of the replays, we're going to start from the 600 metres, but for the CF4, we're going to go the whole race. As they jump out here, another Will, the winner, is one of the fastest ones into stride. Mr. Brightside sort of jumped out midfield, and he had to do some work around them. As you can see, I don't know how you can see up that top right corner how well you can see it. I sort of had to not let that picture get in the way of the replay, but they've gone just outside, maybe a quarter of a second outside standard time for the class, and they've come home in some quicker splits than standard time. So Mr. Brightside had to do that early work around the outside, around the first corner to get into a position. It's got the mouth open, it wants to overdo it. Schwartz sets a decent pace up front. I reckon Mr. Brightside can turn the tables on another Will the next time they meet, because I think if you swap the barriers, you swap the result. Mr. Brightside had to do that early work, and in the mounting yard, Amy Yagi made a mention of that another Will was way more forward apparently for the run in the CF4 than Mr. Brightside. So I think if they meet in the futurity next start and they both draw decently, I want to be on Mr. Brightside. But as they come into the straight, Schwartz is immediately tackled by Mr. Brightside. Another Will has a perfect card off them. Southport Tycoon looked to have every chance. I like the way Samana runs on with Super Smink. Keep an eye on Super Smink. It's the one right on the inside. It's in the inferior ground. Samana runs on well in the orange cap with the black. But another Will just gets Mr. Brightside, who's feeling the pinch late. Another Will comes home in the fastest last 600, 400 and 200 of the race, as you can see up the top right corner of the screen. Another Will stamps himself as a Group 1 Weight for Age star of the future, knocking off a multiple Group 1 Weight for Age winner in Mr. Brightside, with Stapati in third and the Caulfield Guineas winner, Private Life, getting into fourth position. As for the stewards report, nothing really showed up there. Schwartz, I just don't think it's any good, to be honest. Let's move on with the next one. The Blue Diamond Preludes were on yesterday. This is the Colton Geldings version. Field of Play takes it out from Devil Knight and Katsumi Orochi in third. Keep your eye on Autumn Mystery, the green with the white sleeves at the back. This horse went this race went a half a second outside standard time for the class. And Field of Play managed to win, sitting outside the leader, Aleppo Pine. The horse in the Yulong colours, Tycoon Star, also runs very well, as you can see at the top right now. Autumn Mystery, that horse that I wanted you to look at earlier, comes home in the fastest splits of the race from the back. Field of Play is now the favourite for the Blue Diamond Stakes, not actually nominated, but it ran really well. Devil Knight ran well. The Wendy Kelly horse, Katsumi Orochi, ran well. Tycoon Star finishes well, as does Autumn Mystery. So it was a very even race, with Field of Play taking it out. I thought Yamashita's Gold in the Bedgegood colours was not given much of a hope, so it's a forgive, and it could go around in the Blue Diamond at a bit of a price. So yeah, race with white without cover, as you can see in the stewards report there. Aleppo Pine, the favourite, it had a clear excuse, as you can see in the stewards report. Jamie Mellon thinks it'd be better ridden with cover, and it was lame in the left four. So obviously that's a query going into the Blue Diamond, how sound the horse is, but a clear excuse for the favourite. In the fillies version of the Prelude, My Gladiola, the odds-on favourite, went down to Palm Angel. As you can see, first, second and third all settle forward to midfield. Like I said at the start of the video, shoot races for a southerly wind at Caulfield. It's better to be forward to midfield. If you're racing in the shoot, the 1,000 metre, 1,100 or 1,200 metre start, they've gone out second outside standard time. They really slowed it up, as you can see, from the 800 to the 400 metres, and it was a sprint home. Palm Angel coming home in the fastest splits of the race. I thought Miss Celine was a forgive. It had to get off the inside exit in the Tagaloa Silk, second last at the moment. I thought it showed something late, but keep your eye on the Godolphin horse Expulsion. It had its ears up in the air the whole straight, and it got left flat-footed when the sprint went on. But through the line, you can see it is making up real good ground. It's the one that I think is a hidden gem I want to be following into the Blue Diamond, especially if they stick blinkers on it. If they stick blinkers on it, this horse is 100 to 1 at the moment in the Blue Diamond. I've already had something on. I reckon it's way over the odds. Nothing too abnormal in the Stewards report apart from the odds-on favourite My Gladiola. Apparently the jockey Jamie Mott had been instructed to ride the filly with cover, and apparently it over-raced in the lead, so I don't know how it's going to go in a 1,200 metre Blue Diamond. It probably won't be over-racing because they're going to be going at a faster clip than what they did yesterday, but I don't know if it can run out a strong 1,200 My Gladiola. I reckon it's under the odds at the moment in the Blue Diamond market. Expulsion at 100 to 1. Blinkers on in the Blue Diamond. Third up peaking, I reckon, is a great bet at the moment. The Rubiton Stakes was taken out by Ray Magnerio, just defeating Insurrection on the line. Prairie Flower only 2.5 lengths off Insurrection, but still couldn't reel it in too far back down that shoot start. They've gone half a second outside standard time for the class. Blake Shin got to the front on Insurrection and really slowed up the tempo in the early stages. As you can see, half a second inside standard time for the last 400 metres. They really zipped home. The green in the fastest last sectional times mean it's the fastest of the meeting. So Ray Magnerio ran the fastest last 200 metres of the meeting. Prairie Flower the fastest last 400. Miss Aria the fastest last 600. Ray Magnerio got Insurrection on the line. Prairie Flower ran well. Miss Aria in, I guess you could argue, the inferior ground, also one to follow. But it's easy to see why these sectional times were the fastest of the meeting, because they really zipped home. Ray Magnerio is a, well, ever so consistent horse. It always runs well. It got really well backed in late from about $4.80 to $3.60 in the span of 3 minutes. The money was right. It got the job done. Nothing too abnormal in the Stewards report. I thought Mahaba needs to be ridden with cover. It just needs to be ridden with cover, this horse. That's how it produces its best finish. Jordan Childs reckons it probably needed the run, and that's why it didn't perform. I just think it needs to be ridden with cover, and it should be improving Mahaba. It's got a strong starting price profile, so maybe get a better price about that horse next start, but all honours, Ray Magnerio. Race 7, the Autumn Stakes, was taken out by the favourite Angel Capital, defeating Plymouth, Evaporate, and keep your eye on the grey Statuario throughout the home straight. I didn't really have many thoughts on this race. They've gone really slow. 2 seconds outside standard time to the 800 metres. They've really gone slow in front. Blake Shin on the front runner again, and they've zipped home. Angel Capital has clearly got the best sprint, and it's clearly come home in the best figures. I reckon that proves that it's clearly the best horse out of this race, and it's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future. Statuario batting away in the inside inferior part of the track, I thought was really good. And it's the one I want to be following. It was only first up. It'll be better over further. Evaporate didn't have the best of luck, so it's a complete forgive run. Plymouth was good in defeat, but it had everything go its way. All honours Angel Capital. Clearly too good for them. They went slow. It was set up for the front runners, and it was just the best horse on the day. Although it was in the best part of the ground, it still showed a devastating turn of foot to defeat this lot. Evaporate probably deserved to run second, considering the interference it had. As we take a look at the Stewards report to see if we can find anything, Actinon Verba, who most people had mapped leading, missed the start, so that wasn't great. Angel Capital also missed the start. It was to be ridden more forward, change of tactics, which didn't end up happening. It settled further back in the field than probably Ben Mellon would have liked. Evaporate, you can read that for yourself there, down there if you want to, but basically all of that just means it was held up, and which horses it was held up by, and what Mark Zara had to say about it. That was the Autumn Stakes. They've gone a second outside standard time for the class. But I don't think that means that we can this race as a form reference in the future. That just means they've gone so slow early that it's hard to zip home some quick sectionals. So, yeah. Angel Capital, clearly the horse you want to be following out of this race, as well as Evaporate and maybe Statuario as well at a bit of a price next start. Duke de Sessa returns with a bang in the JRA plate. Group 3 level over 1600 metres, defeating Marble Arch and also Shulton Lane. Buffalo River went really quick to the 800 to the 400, as you can see. Half a second inside standard time. It went pretty slow early. They've gone only a quarter of a second outside standard time for the race, so the race has actually gone pretty well. Buffalo River gets swamped into the straight by Shulton Lane, who probably still can't run out a strong 1600 metres. Marble Arch was trying from the back, but Duke de Sessa actually ran a faster last 200 metres than Marble Arch, showing that I think this data proves that Duke de Sessa will be better suited over further in the future. Obviously, this was his first up run. He needs further in the future, but Marble Arch was good in defeat. Duke de Sessa, fastest last 200 metres and just still accelerating away from the field through the line. Wants further in time. I think Kiramar said an Australian Cup was on the cards, so that'd be good. Horses 2, I think, follow. Dashing Duchess from the back was really good, storming into 5th. If you want to go back and watch the replay, it's in the green with the blue diamond. I thought Munamek was a forgive run, and I thought Elphinstone was a forgive run in the Tony McAvoy Stilks. It was just way too wide out on the track. So that was my thoughts on race number 8, the JRA plate. And the last race we're going to take a look at is race number 10 on the card. It was the Peter Legrand Stakes. Arabian Summer returns with a bang. The horses that finished 2nd and 3rd are just in front of it in the run, To Be or Not To Be and Shadavar. Keep your eye on Kirribilli. It was only first up yesterday. It's last on the inside, unsuited down the chute at Caulfield. It comes up the inferior ground and finishes in 5th. Complete forgive run to the horse at the back. Reluctantly charmed in the Maccabi Diva Silks. It pulled up lame and had AIPH. We're going to get to that a bit later in the steward's report. But Arabian Summer in the best part of the ground. To Be or Not To Be in the best part of the ground fought out the finish. Shadavar on the inferior ground was good. Kirribilli is now flying up the inside. It's definitely one to follow out of this race. But Arabian Summer, it clearly brought the best form into this race, and it clearly deserved the win. It had the perfect card on the back of To Be or Not To Be, who took it into the race. Arabian Summer just wins everywhere it goes, it seems, all around the country. Harry Coffey, that was his 4th winner on the card. It was wearing saddlecloth number 4, so the stars were aligning there, and it's definitely, well, Arabian Summer is clearly one to follow into this autumn, but it's an obvious one to follow. Kirribilli for Jamie Melham up the inside, I thought was very good in defeat considering the inferior ground and the fact that it was too far back down the chute. Start at Caulfield with that southerly breeze. As we take a look at the steward's report, it's only really Reluctantly Charmed that we have to look at. That's what the stewards had to say about it. Everything else was fine. This is what's going to be at the end of every race day review. It's going to be Seminator's lessons. So what we should be, well, giving you some tips on how you should do your form pretty much. So out of race 1, the winner Unthinkable paid $11. It was the lightweight of the race, but I've got their winning form out of lead-up races. So 2 starts ago, Unthinkable got beaten by a horse called Smokin' Princess, who came out and won its next start. Unthinkable's last start before yesterday, it got beaten by a horse called Charming Deal, who came out and won its next race. So the way you can check for winning form out of lead-up races is on Racing and Sports. That can help you do your form and find $11 shots like Unthinkable. Race 2, lightly raced horses against older raced horses. So Emphasize only had 3 career starts to date before lining up in race number 2 compared to everything else, which had about 20. Emphasize has more upside, and that's probably why it got the win, because it was in a class that it shouldn't be. It's destined for bigger things. So lightly raced horses against older raced horses are usually pretty good. Race 3, race day support for first up horses. So at about 11 AM yesterday morning, Garachico was $13. By the time they got into the mounting yard, I think it was $10. So always check that race day support for first up horses. If there's race day support, that usually means they're ready to go. Race 6 with Ray Magneria, I've got their late support. Now, this was because Ray Magneria, as I said, 3 minutes before the jump, it was at $4.80. And then by the time it got to 0 minutes before the jump, it was $3.60. That's over 5% chance increase said by the market in Ray Magneria's winning chances. If stuff like that happens, a horse has been smashed in late, they're more than likely going to win. I've found that in the past. So that was race number 6. Race number 8, I've got race 7, I've got race day support for first up horses again with Angel Capital at 11 a.m. yesterday morning. It was $3.20. By the time they jumped, it was $2.80. There was race day support there to say that Angel Capital was going to win. So that's a double up of that with Garrett Chico and Angel Capital. So always check race day support for horses that are first up. If you like a horse that's first up and there's race day support, I think they're going to run well, or the market does at least. And then race 8, classy horses first up. This is Duke de Sessa. It was first up. It had the classiest form in the race, and it was at a half suitable distance. So when that stuff aligns, the classy horses have the ability to win because they're at a half suitable distance. If that race is over 1,400 meters, Duke de Sessa doesn't win that race, but 1,600 meters is sort of half up its alley. So I think that's why Duke de Sessa was able to get the win. These are my horses to follow from the races we looked at. Expulsion out of the Fillies Prelude, Blinkers On, Mark Zara Sticks in the Blue Diamond Stakes. I think the bookies have missed this one. 100 to 1 is over the odds. Back it before it shortens. Statuario ran up the inferior part of the track and was good in defeat. Same with Kirribilli. I thought Kirribilli's run had more merit because it was at the shoot start and it was impossible to make up ground from where it was. So I thought those were the 3 horses to follow out of the meeting. Before this video ends, I wanted to give more context into race number 2 on the card yesterday, won by Emphasize. It ranked the 4th highest ranked race of yesterday, which is pretty high for a benchmark 70. And that's because pretty much they went a second inside standard time to the 800 meters, which set up for a fast tempo. So that's why they ran such a fast time. So a bit of a misleading number there, but Emphasize was still a really good progressive horse that we have to follow. Thanks everyone for watching this race day review. If you like this form of content, then let me know in the comments below. If there's anything you want me to add in the race day reviews that maybe I missed, I don't know, maybe some different sectional numbers or something. Whatever you want, whatever you thought was missing, let me know as well, because I pretty much had a spiel onto a piece of paper and what I wanted to include in this video. So if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. Thanks everyone for watching. Until next video, bye for now.